Hello interwebs, how are you doing? I am doing well. I just wanted to film a quick vlog. So last week I did film a vlog for you guys and my camera memory ran out and I didn't realize it and kept talking, and so it was like a third of a vlog, so I didn't upload it because it made no sense. But anyways, so I'm super excited. My sister is coming over tonight. I normally don't film on Sundays, I normally film on Mondays, but because Eric's going to be here all day tomorrow, I didn't want to have to film tomorrow, so I filmed today. And so she's coming tonight, probably like after my raid, and then we're going to hang out, and then we're going to spend the whole day together tomorrow, and then on Tuesday my friend Nicole is bringing us to the airport so we can go to Vegas because we're going to GameStop Expo together, and I'm super excited about this. Erica and I have never done any sort of like traveling or family vacation, or I mean never, not once, even when we were little kids. Like we've been to like, we went to a water park together a couple years ago, but even like he was her fiance at the time, like her fiance went with us, it wasn't just me and her. So I'm super excited because it's just me and her on a plane, in a hotel room, super freaking excited. Plus apparently there's this amazing pop store in Vegas and we're going there and we're going to buy so many pops at GameStop Expo, and I have a minor problem with pops. If you guys are interested in my pop collection, I'll link it in the info below. It's not that bad. I think I have like 55. Anyways, so I've been drinking an energy drink. I don't know if you can tell or not. These are my favorite. Have you ever had them? Starbucks Refreshers Revitalizing Energy. They're really good. This one's strawberry lemonade. I like them because they're like low in calories and they don't make you like jittery and you don't have like that major crash feeling. Anyways, I just wanted to check in. I'm like, they don't make you crazy at all, and I'm like bouncing off the walls. Anywho, is my necklace right? It isn't. I have like a turnip on my neck. I hate when that happens. I love this necklace, but it flips upside down all the time, and then I look like I have a turnip or a butt or something. It's not what I'm going, or like a ball sack. It's not what I'm going for. But so my computer's super quiet, right? My new computer's all hooked up. I have to do a video on it, not today, but in the future. My new computer's all hooked up, and it's got two settings. Like it's got, this is the silent mode. Pretty quiet. Listen, this is turbo. Still pretty quiet. So anyways, I'm a big fan of my new computer. It runs really well. You know what's funny though, is I've always been a big fan of saying, like, at what point are computer parts, what would be a word for like not a noticeable upgrade, you know? Like, at what point are video cards, what is there's a word for that. I can't remember it all. There's a word for it. What? I wish I could remember the word. It's like, my old computer, like the only thing, this computer renders videos almost twice as fast as my old computer does. Other than that, I do not notice a difference in like, oh, the graphics quality. All my old computer could play all my games on Ultra. Like there wasn't a single game that I experienced lag in. So it's crazy because like this is like an obscenely great computer, and I acknowledge that, but like it feels a little like it's so overkill. It's so ridiculous. It's great for editing video because it does render much faster than my old computer does, but like it just feels like a lot. Like a lot. Like I don't know if like it's very, I have a hard time with lavish things like really big houses or really expensive cars, or in this case a really expensive computer. I mean, you guys know I did not buy this very expensive computer. Like all of the parts, the processor, the RAM, the solid state drive, and the motherboard were provided to me by Intel in exchange for making a video. Well, I didn't know that. They just were like, hey, we're going to send you some stuff, film it. And I was like, done. Cool, Intel, thanks. So I like made that video. And then I bought the case, the power supply. I transferred my hard drives from my old computer. Like I bought all the parts to make it into a computer, and then someone on Twitter, John, just like sent me a crazy good video card. Like it's worth more than like my life. Like I don't even, thank you so much. I don't even know how to like process how ridiculous that is. So this computer is not something that I would ever have purchased. I just have a really, really hard time with very expensive things. Like even the things that I have that people will be like, oh, well, you have 3 monitors. I have 2 mid-grade monitors and an 8-year-old monitor that are on a $60 stand. Like, I'm very, like, cheap, and I always try to buy, like, the best value, and, I mean, once in a while Nick and I will splurge, and Nick is usually the place where I splurge. Like, I'm much more likely to buy something expensive for someone else than for myself. I don't know if it's because I grew up, like, not having money, or if it's because, I don't know, but, like, expensive things give me anxiety. Like, I don't even know, and it feels like, you know, there's so many people in the world that, like, have so little, and I've been there. Like, I've worked, you know, as a waitress to pay my bills, which is not, like, it's not a bad life, but it's not middle class. You know, it's just, I've struggled for things, and I've struggled for things until very recently, until Nick really, not this promotion he got, but the one before that, like, he was still working hourly, and it's really, a lot of people think, like, oh, you're like all this stuff that you have, and, like, I moved, and everybody thinks it's because I'm, like, a YouTube baller, and, like, I do okay for myself. Like, this is not me complaining about my living by any means, because I'm so blessed and so lucky to be able to make YouTube videos for a living, and to be able to do it in a way that's not costing my fans or my viewers any money, and, like, I'm very lucky for that, and I feel like I've worked really hard on, like, learning about business and learning about marketing so that, you know, I can maximize what I do have. But, you know, everything that we really have in our life is because Nick has a great job. Like, he's a financial analyst at, like, this billion-dollar fuel company. He works really, really hard. He's on salary, and, like, he works a lot. Like, he's gone, like, 10, 12 hours a day. So, like, it's really not, everybody always thinks it's, like, oh, well, you're just making a YouTube video, and and, like, no, like, all of our stability, all of our everything is because Nick has a degree and, like, a good adult job, and people forget sometimes that I'm an adult. I mean, that's my own fault. I'm wearing a cupcake shirt, and I have pink hair, but, anyways, until Nick got this, like, really great job, like, we were both, you know, I was doing YouTube for a little while before that, but even the majority of the time I've been making YouTube videos, I was also working, like, an hourly, like, retail or waitressing or customer service, or just, you know, not great jobs, not bad jobs. I mean, no job is a bad job. I'm a big fan of that. Like, I've done some pretty, like, things that like, I worked at a humane society, which sounds like, oh, well, I worked at 2 different humane societies, but not at the same time. Like, I worked at one, and then I moved and worked at the new one in my whatever. Anyways, like, you, like, scoop poop for a living when you work at a humane society. Like, you literally clean up dog and cat poop, like, all day, and, like, vomit, and sometimes, like, you can give vaccines as long as they aren't rabies. Like, you have to be a veterinarian, or maybe just a vet tech, but, like, as, like, a regular person, you can't give vaccines, but we did all the other vaccines. We did, like, Bordetella, which goes up their nose, and we did a combo shot. It was, like, DH2PPL. It's, like, distemper and parvo and canine influenza and lepto and all of those. So it's, like, you do these jobs and you get bitten. And, like, working as like, a waitress, like, people think, like, oh, you make great money as a waitress. Maybe some people do. I did not. I was a horrible waitress. Like, I worked so hard, and I tried so hard, and I think waitressing is one of those jobs that you kind of have to think a little less than I do, because I just was constantly, like, so anxious, like, oh my god, the food is taking so long, so I'd, like, apologize, like, too many times. I stopped at the table too many times. I was very annoying. I dropped things all the time. I didn't really screw up orders. Like, sometimes the kitchen did, but, like, I was way too, like, to, like, do that, but, like, I do not have the right personality for that. I've worked, like, customer service, so I've never really, like, been in a place in my life until very recently where I, like, had a lot of, like things or money, and I feel, like, guilty about it. Like, I feel guilty that, like, I know there's people out there working a shitty waitressing job, dropping people's drinks and getting yelled at. I know there's people scooping dog poop for a living, and I just feel like, why are Nick and I lucky enough to have this life? Because I don't think that we work harder than they do. Like, I'm not saying we don't work as hard as they do, but, like, it's so, I hate to think that there's, like, I didn't feel guilty about people struggling when I was also, like, struggling. But now that I feel like I'm in a comfortable place, like, I just, like, get anxiety about other people struggling. Like, I just feel awful about it. And, like, I don't know, like, that's why I'm, like, so, like, into doing stuff for, like, St. Jude, because it makes me feel like at least I'm, like, giving back in a way, even, you know, and this year I was in a good enough place where I was able to donate all of my commission for during the event, so I donated, like, almost $1,000, and, like, I don't know, it's just a weird phenomenon how, like, I think it's because I never had money before, but I just, not that I have a lot of money now, like, can we just back up? Like, my idea of having money is, like, not being 100% broke when I pay all my bills. Like, because that was my life before this, was literally budgeting out every single penny, and I lived paycheck to literal paycheck, and, like, which is terrible if you're, like, waitressing or working any tip job, because you have no idea if people are gonna, like, be assholes or not. Which reminds me, if you're at a restaurant, if you have a terrible waitress, you still tip her 10%. Yeah, I don't care if your waitress is awful. She is getting charged from the government for taxes, or he, as if you gave them 10%, as if you tipped them 10% or not. And, like, I don't care how terrible your service was, like, the server should never have to pay for you to be there. So, like, even if you have the worst service ever, you tip 10%. If you have good service, like 18%. If you have phenomenal service, like 25%. But, like, never like, if you stiff waitresses or waiters, just leave my video now, because that's so terrible. They make like $2 an hour. Like, it's really, it should be illegal, because, like, in other countries, like in Europe, their tip is worked into the price of your food. So they get paid a living wage, like, I don't, $9 or $10 an hour. That's not really a living wage. You know what I'm saying? They get paid like a normal amount of money, and then, like, they get really excited when there's American tourists who don't know that and leave them tips. But anyways, I just went off on a tangent. I just wanted to touch base with you guys, say hi, because I'm going to be gone for a while. I'm going to try to vlog while I'm in Vegas. It's just going to depend on if my sister's in the mood to vlog, which she probably will be. She's great. I'm super excited to see her. I don't get to see her nearly as much now that I live 3 hours away, so I'm just super, super excited to, like, get to have this, like, family thing without both of the husbands are staying in their respective homes. It's just me and Erica, and I'm really excited about it. So wish us luck, wish us a good time, and I know, just cutting back to this, if you're struggling right now, like, I'm super sorry, and, like, I have been there, and I feel you, and, like, I don't know, I know, like, you hear this a lot, but, like, just because, like, don't think that, like, like, Notch, the guy who invented Minecraft, just went on this huge tyrant rampage thing because he's, like, so miserable. Like, you could have $2.5 billion and be super miserable. So, like, try not to put all of your stock in, like, how much money you have, because, like, struggles don't go away with money. It's just different struggles. Like, I don't know. It's bizarre and weird, and just remember that you're not the only one, and that, like, hey, you could win the lottery and you'll still have problems. I'm kidding. Well, I'm not. I'm serious. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I don't mean to end this on a bad note. Good note. You might win the lottery. I'm going to go. I love you all. You're in my hearts. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.